Greetings and salutations, friends. I am the Wolf, Wolf Chahi. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the video. As always, it is excellent to have you here. Today we are looking at my Rune Level 1 fight against Loretta, Knight of the Haligtree. Just looking here real quick. Taking a look at my equipment loadout for this fight. The highlight of this equipment loadout being the Spur Rapier, of course. It also happens to be my first time ever using this weapon. So without further ado, sit back, relax, enjoy a nice long sip of an extra hot cup of coffee or your favorite beverage of choice. And let's get into the video. As you can see, right out of the fog gate, she's giving me some glintstone sorceries that I can use PARRY and retaliation on. Followed by a dodge roll into her right leg, and following that with a parry. Then she runs up to me to give me another swing with her spear, but I parry that. When the horse rears up on its hind legs like that, that's a nice easy dodge to roll away from. There's the parry again on that wide spear swing. PARRY and retaliation on the glintstone sorcery. A lot of time in this fight is spent managing your distance from this enemy, especially as she likes to use those glint blades a lot. As you may have already figured out, I'm using the frost affinity on this longsword. My strategy with this fight was to get some big hefty damage at the beginning with the frost proc, and then immediately switch to the Spur Rapier to start building up poison and scarlet rot so that she gets poisoned and rotted for the big chunk of the fight that I want her to be poisoned and rotted, which is going into the second phase. And there's that frost proc, followed by PARRY and retaliation on her arrow. Messed up the timing on that, but I got the timing on that one, so that's nice. If at first you don't parry, parry again. The combination of the glint blade phalanx followed by the glintstone stars can be tricky to dodge. It gets even trickier in second phase. And we'll see that hopefully pretty soon. You can see I dodged into her jump attack, right into her right leg, and set myself up for the parry. There are two ways to handle that jump attack, and we'll get into that pretty soon. Here comes her bow. Parry the arrow. Sip the flask. That's a good time to sip that flask. Another parry on the arrow. Here come the glint blades. And second phase. Now we're going to see some more complicated attacks coming from her. And we're also witnessing a curious phenomenon I like to call potato brain, where you can see for some reason I had switched to two-handing the shield. And I have no idea why. But the potato brain is really kicking into high gear right now. You can see I did some weird dodge rolling there, and then I totally messed up the dodging on that attack. But that's okay, run it back. Take a deep breath. Stretch the shoulders and neck, shake out the stress in your arms, hands, wrists, anywhere you feel stress, and get right back into the fight. So in a little bit here, hopefully we're going to see another little useful technique beyond just the basics, where you have to manage the glint blade phalanx, followed by one of her magic arrows. For now, just going for the frost proc again, dodging into her right leg, and then parrying the follow-up attack. Easy dodge when the horse rears up. Could have parried that, but I didn't. And then I tried to parry the jump attack, but I was not lined up correctly. And that's the thing with that jump attack, is you really have to be lined up properly in order to pull it off. And there I messed up the parry, but I got the second one, the follow-up. Not sure what I was doing there, but luckily I was able to recover and dodge roll out of that. Almost got stun locked there. Did a little bit of minor panic rolling. But I recognized that I wasn't lined up properly for the jump attack parry, so I just dodge rolled into it and then parried the follow-up again. And there we go. That time I was lined up properly and I was able to get that jump attack parry. Could have parried that. I think I was thinking about switching my sword rather than parrying. Also might have been thinking about sipping that flask. You can literally hear the wind of that parry being missed. I have no idea why that happens sometimes. I don't know if it's because the unevenness of the floor, but I've had that happen to me a couple times, where you parry and the timing is correct, but it just completely doesn't connect. But there's another death. Another death is more content, right? That's okay. Take a deep breath, shake it off, get back into the fight. So yeah, with her jump attack, it is a parryable attack. It's a little complicated because you do have to be lined up properly. You want her to be sort of in front of you, but sort of to your right. And you want her to be about medium distance from you. If she's too close, see right there, that was lined up really well. If she's too close or too far away, then the parry just is not going to connect. There we go, that's a nice attack. I always like getting that attack. Nice easy dodge. Watch her jump around for a little bit. Could have dodged into that and parried the follow-up. I'm not sure why I didn't. Potato brain probably kicking into gear again. Can parry this too. Don't know why I didn't. There we go, got the jump attack parry, which felt nice. Now it's time to switch to the ant spur and try to get some poison and rot. Some nice parries on these jump attacks. You can parry that follow-up too, and I do it eventually. Oh, but not now. Now I just die. This fight, I fought, this particular Rune Level 1 fight with her, I fought over 8 hours, spread out over 3 or 4 days. A lot of connected parries and a lot of missed parries in that time. Here comes a dodge roll in, followed by a parry. That's real nice. I think in this clip is where you get to see me follow up with a second parry after the jump attack. And hopefully we'll see that in a little bit here. Dodge roll in, get a parry. Very nice. Get a second attack, and here comes another attack. Now you can see the camera kind of spins around really crazy there. And I don't really have any good advice for doing that follow-up parry, other than I just sort of developed a sense of timing after a while, so that I was able to do that. And I'm not saying I got it 100% of the time. And there you go, that's how you manage that attack. However, that is not how you manage the follow-up. So ideally I would have moved in closer until I was almost touching her, and then I would have started stabbing her. I would have got 3 attacks in, and then I would have moved away. But because I was missing, I tried to go for a 4th attack, and I paid for it. But as I say, deep breaths, shake it off, and get back into the ring. This is a nice boss arena. With the exception of the unevenness of the floor, I really like this spot for fighting. The pretty scenery and background kind of take away the pain of this fight a little bit. Not to mention her armor and her horse are nice to look at. Could have parried that, I'm not sure why I didn't. Watch her hop around like a frog for a little while. Dodge in, get the parry, very nice. And there's the follow-up attack and parry, which again, I don't know why the camera goes crazy like that. And the only advice I have is that if you're gonna attempt that, you just gotta get the timing down on it. Because I don't really know what video clues I'm responding to because the camera's going so crazy. It has to be just muscle memory at this point. That sucked. That really sucked. That is one of the more challenging combos of hers to manage when she launches the glint blade phalanx and follows it up by her bow. Timing the dodging of the arrow and those glint blades is really complicated. The best way to deal with it is to parry immediately after dodging the glint blades, and hopefully we'll get to see me do that here in a minute. Now, a comment I had on my Draconic Tree Sentinel video was, why do you not use square off? Well, there you go. That's why I don't use square off after parrying these mounted enemies. Because there's not enough time to use the skill and then get out of there before you get punished. It wasn't my intention to necessarily show that off, but I thought I'd give square off a try just to see if it would work. And it most definitely did not work. But at least I tried it, and now I know. And knowing is half the battle. And even though I died, just shake it off. Take a deep breath, get back into the fight. It's a good idea to use Carian Retaliation on every other of those glintstone stars, because if you use it on every one, you're just wasting FP, because there's not enough time for your little magic sword blades to be launched before you parry the next one. So that's why when she starts spamming those singular glintstone stars, I always dodge one, then parry one, then dodge one, then parry one. That way, I'm not wasting FP. Don't know what happened there with the timing on that dodge roll. So I got lucky. I saved myself from a bad situation earlier in that attempt, but then I had bad timing on that dodge roll into her leg. Now I kept this clip in because we're going to get to see how the camera can be another enemy that you have to fight in this game. Bad timing on responding to that glintstone star. But I did get a parry in, even though it missed. Dodge into her leg, get the parry. Now I got the parry that time when the camera spun. So that was nice. Dodge roll into her leg, get the parry, the attack. Here comes the follow-up and the camera spin. Totally messed me up. And then I mistimed the dodge roll and I got punished. So that's a nice little mini showcase of how the camera can be another enemy that you have to fight in this game. And then here I am sneaking for some reason. No idea what my potato brain was doing there. Looks like I figured it out eventually though. Dodge rolled in, was looking for a parry attack, but I didn't get it. So then I got back out. Not a good idea. It's a good idea, of course, to get into melee range when you want to parry an attack of hers, but it's not a good idea with this boss to stay in melee range. At least it wasn't for me. Bad timing there. There you go. Bad timing on that rear up attack. It is possible to parry that, but I parried like a year too early, it feels like, watching it back again. That's okay. Dust yourself off, get back in, take a deep breath, enjoy the scenery. Here we go. Bam, I got the timing that time. Feels real good, man. Dodge that glint blade, could have parried it. Glint blade, glint stone. Parry the jump attack, feels good. Attack, attack, parry the follow-up. Attack, move forward, attack again. Now she jumps back to give herself some space. There we go, that was a nice parry on the jump attack. Missed time to parry on the spin attack, but that's okay. We're still in the fight. We're still good. Tried to sip a flask there and got punished. That obviously was not a good time to try to sip a flask, but this is a better time right here. When she's casting Glint Blade Phalanx, that's when you want to sip your flask. There's a nice wild camera spin, but got the parry nevertheless. So this is my final attempt, and before we get to the end of this video, there was something I wanted to talk about with this fight, and that is the Spur Rapier. This was my first time using it. I didn't go for the trifecta affinity on this, where you use poison, bleed, and rot. I kind of felt like adding bleed on top of the poison and the rot. You know, doing the trifecta affinity with this weapon. I felt like that was maybe gonna feel a little bit too overpowered for me, especially since I was using Frost for the beginning of this fight. So, even though I was using Poison and Rot to do extra damage to shorten this fight, I still wanted it to feel at least somewhat of a challenge. And this fight was a challenge. Like I said, it took me 8 hours, spread out over 3 or 4 days to finally kill her at RUNE level 1. What I was finding before I started using the Spur Rapier with the poison and rot affinity on it was that the fight was taking a really long time, and I had to play perfectly for a really long time. And maybe there are some people out there that can play perfectly for long stretches of time. But given enough time, eventually my potato brain is always going to kick in. And I'm going to make some dumb mistake. So, for me, it's always good to find a way to shorten the fight as much as possible. This attack combo feels really good to dodge, and then there you go, you see I got in 3 attacks with the Rapier. If you can learn to dodge that attack combo successfully, you can really punish it after the 3rd swipe with that weapon of hers. There you go, you can parry the triple arrows. I have done it, but it's hit or miss. And by that I mean you're gonna parry 2 of those arrows, but one of them is either gonna go over your head and land behind you and explode, or it's gonna hit you and explode. So it's just more consistent to dodge forward into those. These, you just dodge them and try to dodge them as late as you can. You're not parrying those. You're gonna get insta-killed if you try to parry them. There's a nice parry. A couple of jabs with the Spur. There's a nice attack. Followed by stab, stab, stab. Dodge forward into the triple arrows. Dodge those. Here comes another nice parry. I think I tried to dodge and block at the same time there. I got really lucky that I didn't get one shot right then. There we go. There's the dodge, 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 followed by stab, stab, stab. And we almost got this win locked down. At this point, my heart's pounding. I'm shaking all over. I'm freaking out. I'm shouting yes, yes, yes over and over again. And there we go. There's the fight. Hopefully you found this video helpful and entertaining. If you did, then please leave a like and subscribe to support my tiny little channel. Otherwise, I wish you good luck. Happy gaming. Cheers, everyone. Goodbye.